Lesson 23, Graphical Solution. In this lesson, we will be using graphs to solve for solutions to systems of linear equations. These are systems of equations that previously we have been solving using substitution or elimination. When we are solving a system of equations by graphing them to find the solution, graph each equation first. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is set each equation equal to y. Okay, it needs to be in y equals mx plus b form. All right, the second thing we're going to do is graph each line. Now this can be done using a t-chart. You can do it using your y-intercept and slope. Either way, you need to graph each line. 3, the solution is the point at which the lines intersect. All right, so we first set each equation equal to y. Okay, it's got to be in y equals mx plus b form. Then we graph each line. And we find the solution. Okay, the solution is the point at which the lines intersect. All right, keep in mind that when we did substitution and elimination to solve these problems, we wrote our answer as an ordered pair. We're going to do the same thing in this type of problem. Our answer is going to be documented as an ordered pair. All right, so let's solve the first one. Our first example is this. We have 3y minus 2x equals 6, and y plus x equals -1. All right, the first thing that we want to do is set each equation equal to y. All right, so the first equation, we have 3y minus 2x equals 6. If I add 2x to both sides, I now have 2x plus 6. And we divide by 3, we have y equals 2/3 x plus 2. All right, there is one equation. And in our second equation, we have y plus x equals -1. All we have to do is subtract x. So we have y equals -x minus 1. That is our second equation. All right, the next thing that we want to do is we want to graph them. All right, so let me pull out some graph paper here. All right, we are going to form an xy coordinate. All right, so there's our y-axis. Here's our x-axis. All right. Now, it doesn't matter how you graph this. I'm going to graph them using the y-intercept and slope. If you want to set up a t-chart and plug in points to solve that way, that is fine. All right, but I'm going to do it just based on the y-intercept. A little bit quicker. All right, so the first one we're graphing is y equals 2/3 x plus 2. Now we know that the plus 2 is the y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. All right, so there is 2 plus 2 on my y-axis. Now the slope is 2, 3. Okay, remember slope is rise over run. So I'm going to go up 2, that's the rise, and over 3. 1, 2, 3. That's my next point. All right, I'm going to do it again. Up 2, over 1, 2, 3. There's my next point. All right, this allows you to graph the line. You can also go down to left 3, right, to get as many points as possible. There's our first line. All right, our first line comes right through here like this. All right, let's make it, make our line. Now that you can see it. All right, our next point, our next line is y equals -x minus 1. Alright, so I'm going to go down to -1, that's where it crosses, and my slope is negative x. That's the same as -1/1. So instead of going up 1, right 1, we're going down 1, right 1. So we go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. We could also go up and left. Alright, so there's our second line. Alright, so we've drawn our two lines from our two graphs. Now the point at which they intersect is the solution to the equation. These two lines intersect at this point here. Alright, so we've got to find an x and a y at where it intersects. Now, this isn't going to be exact because it's not an exact plane, but it's going to be close. Alright, we know it's right before -2 on the x. So I'm going to say it's about -1.6 or -1.7 on the x. And if we go to the y, it's not quite at 1. Alright, so it's going to be about +0.8 or so. Alright, and that's our graphical solution. Graphical solutions are simply estimated. They're not going to be exact. Alright, so I have about -1.7. It's not quite at 2. And then 0.8 for my y coordinate. Alright, that's graphical solutions. I'm going to give you one example. I want you to go ahead and try this one in your notes. Now, graphical solutions isn't something that we're going to be relying on to get exact answers, so we won't be doing too much of it, but I do want you to be familiar with the concept. Alright, this one is y minus qx equals 2, and y equals -3. Alright, go ahead and solve this one by graphing. You're going to have to follow the steps. Alright, set each equation equal to y, and y equals mx plus b form. Graph the line, and the point at which they intersect is the solution. Go ahead and try this on your own, and we will check it when we come back in the